very chosen one carries something within them that cannot be duplicated, replaced, or silenced, and that is their divine light. This light is not the kind that can be switched off by human effort or buried under the weight of lies, envy, or opposition. It is an eternal flame, one that is placed within you by God, the universe, or divine destiny. From the very beginning of your journey, this light has attracted both blessings and challenges. On one hand, it has opened doors, brought you opportunities, and allowed you to connect with people who are inspired by your presence. On the other hand, it has also drawn the attention of those who carry jealousy in their hearts, those who feel threatened by your mere existence, and those who secretly plot against you because they cannot stand the brilliance that radiates from you. This is the paradox of being chosen. The light that makes you so special is the very same light that makes you a target for envy. Envy is a powerful force, but it is never stronger than the truth of who you are. Your opposers may look at you and wonder why everything about you feels so different, why you walk with a sense of purpose, why even when you stumble, you manage to rise again. They cannot understand that your strength doesn't come from worldly things alone, but from the divine power fueling your spirit. This misunderstanding leads them into resentment. They whisper, they mock, they try to sabotage, but none of these actions change the fact that your light continues to shine. In fact, the more they try to suppress it, the brighter it grows, because pressure only reveals authenticity. Every scheme against you has only served to highlight your resilience. Every attack has only confirmed the very thing they are trying to deny, that you are chosen, and your glow is not ordinary. When your light shines in dark places, it naturally exposes things that others would rather keep hidden. People who live in envy do not like mirrors held up to their insecurity, and yet your presence often forces them to confront it. You don't even have to speak a word. The way you move, the way you carry yourself, the energy you bring into a room, it all demands attention. This is why opposers feel unsettled around you. Deep down, they see in you what they lack in themselves. They see courage where they feel fear, authenticity where they wear masks, and purpose where they feel lost. Instead of working on themselves, many of them choose the easier route, to try to tear you down. But light was never designed to bow to darkness. Even a small candle in a pitch-black room cannot be ignored. That is why no matter what is said or done against you, your divine light continues to reveal the truth. The truth is, people's envy says far more about them than it does about you. Your opposers may speak loudly, but their actions are driven by silent frustration that they cannot dim you. They may attempt to create distractions or spread falsehoods, but none of it changes reality, your essence, your spirit, your gifts. They are undeniable. You are like a star in the night sky. You cannot be hidden. Even clouds can only cover the stars temporarily, but eventually, they move, and the stars remain exactly where they were meant to be. This is what your enemies fail to understand. They think they have power over your destiny, but they are merely temporary obstacles in a much bigger plan. They cannot erase what God has placed within you. They cannot undo the calling written over your life. They cannot cancel the purpose that is already unfolding before them. Their envy only exposes them, while your light keeps revealing who you truly are. Every time your opposers plot against you, they unknowingly elevate you. When they gossip, your name travels further than it ever would have on its own. When they try to block opportunities, new ones open that are even better. When they attempt to shame you, it only highlights your endurance and grace under pressure. This cycle repeats itself over and over again. Their efforts to dim you only make your shine more undeniable. It is almost ironic how the very energy they invest in opposing you becomes a two-linear growth. Their envy becomes fuel for your rise, their negativity becomes proof of your significance, and their resistance becomes evidence that you are walking a path that matters. Sometimes you may wonder why you have to face so much envy, Why people who barely know you seem to harbor such strong feelings against you. The truth is, it isn't really about you personally, it's about what you carry. Your light is divine, and it reflects back to others the places within themselves they have neglected or denied. This reflection is uncomfortable for them, because it forces them to see their own insecurity, their own lack of growth, their own failure to step into purpose. Instead of seeing your light as an inspiration to rise higher, they see it as a threat. But even in this, you must understand that it only proves your significance. Nobody envies the ordinary. Envy is reserved for those who carry something extraordinary. The fact that you attract envy is proof that you are walking in a level of greatness that cannot be ignored. As your journey continues, your light will keep exposing what is hidden. The people who oppose you will continue to reveal themselves, often without realizing it. Their words, their attitudes, their actions, all of it will make clear who is truly for you and who is secretly against you. But you do not have to fear this, because exposure is part of the divine process. When the light shines, the shadows are revealed. This process may feel uncomfortable, but it is necessary. It clears the path for you to move forward without being weighed down by hidden enemies or false friends. It separates what is genuine from what is fake. It ensures that when you rise with the right people around you, and those who cannot handle your light are left behind where they belong. You may not always see it, but your light is not only for you, it is a guide for others who are searching for their way. It is a symbol of hope for those who feel lost. It is proof that even in a world filled with darkness, authenticity can still shine. This is why your light cannot be hidden. It is not meant to stay small or unnoticed. It is meant to shine so brightly that others are inspired to rise as well. Your opposers cannot stop this, because they are fighting against something much bigger than you. They are not simply opposing a person, they are resisting the divine plan behind your existence. This is a battle they cannot win, no matter how hard they try. The envy of your opposers will continue to be revealed, because that is the nature of light. It uncovers what is hidden. But while their envy is being exposed, your glow is also being magnified. The world is being shown who you truly are, not through your words alone, but through the undeniable evidence of your life. Every victory, every breakthrough, every moment you rise again after being pushed down is a testament to the fact that your light is unstoppable. And though your opposers may not admit it, deep down they know the truth. You are chosen, you are set apart, and nothing can dim the brilliance that shines from within you. There are moments in life when it feels like you are standing alone, when the weight of opposition seems unbearable, and when the attacks against you make you question if anyone sees the struggle you are facing. But what you may not always realize is that there is a force greater than anything in the natural realm working behind the scenes, stepping in on your behalf, and ensuring that justice is served. This force may come through divine intervention, through a person unexpectedly standing up for you, or through circumstances that shift so suddenly it becomes clear that it is not by accident. When you are chosen, you are not left unprotected. There is always a higher power watching, guiding, and making sure that no weapon formed against you prospers. And when the time comes, this power moves in ways that silence the opposition and make it known that you are not to be played with. Your opposers often believe that their actions will go unnoticed or unchallenged. They think that by plotting in secret, whispering lies, or creating barriers, they can derail your path. What they fail to see is that nothing done in darkness can remain hidden forever when divine justice is at work. Every scheme, every word spoken against you, every action meant to harm you is seen, even when you are unaware. There is an all-seeing eye that records it all. This is why the very moment they believe they have the upper hand, everything begins to shift. Suddenly, the same things they intended for your downfall become the very things that expose them. The plans meant to trap you turn into traps for themselves. The lies they spread return to their own doorstep. This is how the higher power operates. It ensures that balance is restored, and it makes it clear that you are protected in ways your opposers could never comprehend. Sometimes this defense comes in the form of people unexpectedly stepping forward to protect your name or your reputation. You may not have asked for their support, and you may not even realize how deeply they see your value, but they recognize the truth in you. They see your authenticity, your effort, your heart, and they cannot sit back in silence while others try to destroy it. These defenders are often sent as vessels of divine justice, chosen to be voices in moments where you cannot speak for yourself. While your opposers attempt to tear you down, someone steps in and says, "Not this one, not the chosen." Their voice carries power because it is aligned with the higher truth, and it silences the noise of your enemies. Sometimes, this person may even be someone you least expect: a stranger, an acquaintance, or someone who once doubted you but can no longer ignore your light. It is proof that when divine justice moves, it uses whoever it needs to make sure you are covered. There are also times when defense doesn't come through people at all, but through divine shifts in circumstances. Opportunities suddenly open that your enemies tried to block. Doors that were once shut in your face are flung wide open, and no opposition can keep them closed. A job you were unfairly denied reappears with better terms. A relationship you were forced out of reveals truths that vindicate your decision to walk away. Money, recognition, and respect begin to flow into your life at the exact moment your opposers thought they had buried you in lack or obscurity. These shifts are not coincidences, they are the universe's way of balancing the scales, reminding you that no matter how many people rise against you, the forces working for you are far greater. Your opposers often underestimate just how protected you are. They assume that because they can speak louder, gather more people against you, or create more obstacles, they hold the power. But their power is temporary, and it is built on fragile foundations. Lies crumble, deceit is exposed, and false alliances fall apart. Meanwhile, your protection is eternal, rooted in truth, and reinforced by something far stronger than human manipulation. When this force steps in, it does not just protect you from harm, it makes a public statement. It shows your opposers and everyone watching that you are not alone, that there is authority backing your journey, and that messing with you is equivalent to messing with something sacred. This realization alone puts fear in the hearts of those who once thought they could treat you carelessly. Even in the quiet moments when you feel unseen, this defense is still active. Every tear you've cried, every night you've spent wondering why life feels so heavy, every injustice you've endured, it has all been noted. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has gone unnoticed. There is a record of your endurance, your faith, your effort, and your willingness to rise above negativity. And when the time comes, that record speaks louder than the lies of your opposers. It testifies to your character and ensures that the truth about you cannot be hidden forever. This is why, even when people think they have buried your name under false accusations, the truth eventually rises, and it rises so powerfully that it not only clears you but also elevates you higher than before. There is something unexplainable about the way divine protection operates. It doesn't always show up in the way you expect, and it doesn't always happen on your timeline. Sometimes it feels delayed, and you wonder if justice will ever come. But when it arrives, it is undeniable. The tables turn so swiftly that even you are left in awe. The same mouths that once mocked you are silenced. The same people who once dismissed you are forced to acknowledge your worth. The same opposers who thought they could break you are now exposed as powerless. And through it all, you are reminded that being chosen means being covered. It means that no matter how heavy the opposition, there is always something stronger fighting for you. Your opposers are not just fighting against you, they are fighting against the one who defends you. This is why they cannot win. They may cause delays. They may create distractions. They may stir up temporary storms. but they cannot change the outcome. The outcome has already been written, and it ends in your favor. Every attempt to destroy you only proves how significant you are, and every failed attack is a testimony of the protection over your life. This is why, even when you don't have the strength to defend yourself, you can rest in the knowledge that you are never truly alone. Someone is always standing up for you, whether seen or unseen, and their defense is far greater than anything you could orchestrate on your own. The most powerful part of this defense is that it doesn't just silence your opposers, it also restores what was taken from you. The time you thought you lost, the opportunities that slipped through your fingers, the relationships that crumbled under Lyessa, all of it is restored in ways that are better than before. When divine justice steps in, it doesn't just even the score, it shifts the game entirely. It lifts you to levels your opposers never thought you could reach, and it blesses you in front of the very ones who tried to block your blessings. This restoration is part of the testimony that reveals who you truly are. It proves that your worth is not defined by people's opinions but by the higher purpose written over your life. You may never know the full extent of the battles fought on your behalf. You may never see all the ways you were defended in moments when you thought you were vulnerable, but what you will see are the results. Enemies exposed, lies dismantled, blessings released, and doors opening in ways that cannot be explained by chance alone. You will see the evidence of a power that is always working for you, always covering you, and always making sure that no matter how much opposition you face, you will not fall. This is the assurance of being chosen, that someone is always stepping in to defend you, to fight battles you cannot fight on your own, and to make sure that your story continues exactly as it was meant to. This is the moment where everything about your journey begins to make sense, the season where the trials you endured and the storms you walked through reveal their purpose. For so long, it may have felt like you were hidden, misunderstood, or overlooked. But this is not the season of obscurity anymore. This is the time when your worth is being recognized in ways that can no longer be denied. Every battle you fought, every time you rose after being pushed down, and every moment you chose to remain true to yourself has prepared you for this elevation. The spotlight is no longer something you have to chase, because it is now finding you naturally. Your authenticity, your resilience, and your divine calling are drawing recognition, and no amount of jealousy or opposition can stop what has already been set in motion. This season belongs to you, and it is unfolding exactly the way it was always meant to. For years, there have been voices trying to convince you that you were not enough, that you were unworthy, or that you did not have what it takes to succeed. There were people who tried to compare you to others, reduce your value, or cast doubt over your abilities. Yet through all of it, you remained steadfast. You may have had moments of weakness, moments when you doubted yourself, but you never truly gave up. That persistence is now being rewarded, and the recognition you are receiving is not by chance, it is the natural outcome of your unwavering determination. People are finally beginning to see what was always within you, a rare light, a gift, a strength that sets you apart from the rest. This is why no amount of slander or envy can alter what is happening now. When the divine has chosen you to rise, no one has the power to stop it. There comes a time when the masks of your opposers fall away, and the truth of their intentions is revealed for all to see. Those who once smiled in your face while secretly hoping for your downfall are now being exposed. Their actions, their words, their envy, it is all coming to light, and it is making room for you to stand tall without the weight of hidden enemies. This exposure is not meant to harm you but to free you. You are no longer bound to the opinions of those who cannot appreciate your worth. You are no longer tied to relationships built on false pretenses. Instead, you are being elevated in front of the very ones who tried to silence you. Their whispers are losing power, their schemes are failing, and their envy is turning into their own undoing. All the while, you are rising, not because you fought them directly, but because the truth of who you are is undeniable. This season is also one of boldness. No longer are you called to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. No longer are you required to dim your light just to avoid standing out. You are being called to stand fully in your power, to embrace your identity as someone chosen, and to shine without apology. For too long, you may have played small, thinking that humility meant hiding your gifts, but humility is not denial of who you are. True humility is knowing that your light comes from a higher source and using it to fulfill your purpose. Now, as doors open and opportunities present themselves, you are being asked to step into them with confidence, knowing that you belong in every space your feet touch. Your rise is not arrogance, it is obedience to the calling placed on your life. With this boldness comes recognition, not just from strangers, but from people who once doubted you. Some of those who underestimated you are now being forced to acknowledge your strength. They may not say it openly, but deep down, they see the shift. They see that despite everything thrown at you, you are still standing, and not only standing but thriving. The same people who tried to overlook you will now have no choice but to witness your elevation. This recognition is not about validation from them, but it serves as a reminder that no word spoken against you has the power to erase what has already been written for you. It shows that your worth was never dependent on their approval, because the higher plan for your life has always been greater than their opinions. As you rise, it becomes clear that your elevation is not only for your own benefit but also for those who are watching you in silence. There are people who have been struggling, people who have been doubting themselves, and people who have been waiting for proof that it is possible to overcome the storms of life. Your story becomes that proof. Your resilience becomes their inspiration. Your ability to rise despite opposition gives them courage to believe in their own journey. This is why your season of elevation is so powerful. It carries a ripple effect that touches lives beyond your own. You are not just rising for yourself, you are rising for every person who needs to see what it looks like to keep going even when the odds are stacked against you. The silencing of your enemies in this season is not about revenge, it is about justice. It is about balance being restored and truth being revealed. When those who tried to harm you see that their efforts were in vain, it sends a clear message: you are protected, and your purpose cannot be destroyed. This silencing does not require you to lift a hand against them, because the higher power fighting for you ensures that their words fall flat, their plans collapse, and their influence diminishes. This silence is powerful, because it allows your light to shine without interference. It creates space for you to move forward freely, without the constant noise of opposition weighing you down. It confirms that your enemies never truly had power over you, they only had the illusion of it, and that illusion has now been shattered. In this season of recognition, you are also learning to value yourself in ways you never did before. You are beginning to see that you do not have to accept less than you deserve. You are no longer willing to settle for relationships, opportunities, or environments that do not honor your worth. This shift in perspective is crucial, because it ensures that as you rise, you protect your energy and your gifts. You understand that being chosen means being intentional about where you invest your time and who you allow into your space. You are not rising just to repeat the cycles of the past, you are rising to create something new, something lasting, something aligned with your true purpose. This self-recognition mirrors the recognition you are receiving from others, and together, it creates a foundation that cannot be shaken. The recognition you are receiving is also a form of vindication. For every time you were misunderstood, every time you were cast aside, and every time someone tried to diminish your value, this season serves as a reversal. It is the universe's way of declaring that the truth can no longer be ignored. Vindication is not always loud or dramatic, it is often subtle but undeniable. It shows up in the way opportunities flow toward you, in the way people begin to honor your presence, and in the way your life starts reflecting the worth you have always carried. This vindication is not something you had to fight for, it is something that naturally arrives when the timing is right, when the season has shifted, and when the higher plan says it is time. What makes the season so extraordinary is that it feels like a culmination and a beginning all at once. It feels like the closing of chapters filled with pain, rejection, and hidden battles, but at the same time, it feels like the opening of doors you never imagined possible. It is as though the universe is saying that everything you endured was preparation, that none of it was wasted, and that the recognition you are now receiving is not just about reward but about positioning. You are being placed where you belong, in spaces that align with your purpose, and in relationships that honor your value. This positioning is intentional, and it ensures that your rise is not temporary but sustained, not shallow but deeply rooted. This is your time to stand fully in the identity of who you are, to accept the recognition that is flowing toward you, and to understand that your enemies cannot overshadow what has already been written in your favor. Every attempt to silence you has failed, every effort to diminish you has collapsed, and every word spoken against you has lost its power. The truth has risen, your worth has been revealed, and your season of elevation has arrived. Chosen ones, through every trial, through every attack, and through every storm, your journey has proven one undeniable truth: that you were never meant to be hidden. Your light cannot be dimmed, your purpose cannot be denied, and your worth cannot be diminished. The envy of your opposers has only revealed their own brokenness, but it has also magnified your strength. Every scheme against you has collapsed under the weight of divine justice, because there is a force greater than any human hand that continues to defend you, restore you, and elevate you in ways you could have never imagined. And now, this is your season, the season where you rise boldly, where your name is honored, and where your enemies are silenced once and for all. You are not here by accident, you are not shining by chance, and you are not walking this path alone. You are chosen, you are protected, and you are called to shine without apology. So as you step forward into this next chapter of your life, carry this truth in your heart: you are a star Thioe, created to shine, created to inspire, and created to stand out. No matter what comes against you, know that greater is the one within you than anything that rises against you. Your rise has just begun, and the world will see what it truly means to be chosen. Thank you so much for giving your time, your energy, and your spirit to this message. I am grateful for every listener, every heart, and every soul that connected with these words today. May you walk away uplifted, strengthened, and reminded of who you truly are. Until we meet again, stay strong, stay shining, and never forget you are chosen, you are protected, and you are loved. Goodbye, and God bless you always. Ethimeo diaresis.